if you came here from my TikTok, you know that I'm not doing super great with the results of the election. And not in any hyperbolic, angry that the world didn't go my way or anything like that, but in that I'm genuinely worried about the things that are very likely to happen in the US and the people that I care about there who other people don't think of as people. It is also super impactful to my identity because the America that I thought existed doesn't. And that's not being dramatic or hyperbolic. That's not blaming others for choices that they make. It's literally just I was raised to believe that most people, when presented with a choice like this, would choose to help others. Don't get me wrong. The choices, both choices were bad. Both choices were bad, and both choices denied genocide, and both choices hated people across the border, and both choices were the Overton window has shifted so much, so dramatically, that the people who are Democrats are not left wing. They're not. They're just slightly nicer Republicans. They're just slightly more kind Republicans. They're still not. There is no progressive choice that is legitimate in the U.S. And it's been exceptionally difficult dealing with people in Sweden because Sweden has such distance from the things that they talk about. A lot of Swedes think that they understand the U.S. Like, going to Black Lives Matter protests here was very, very much... It had a party atmosphere because it's not real to them. It's not a situation where, they actually know people who are dying. It's not a situation where a lot of Swedes can understand the genuine horror that will come. And a lot of the Swedes that I've met, that I know, that I've talked to on TikTok, are just like, well, economically this will be good. Not recognizing that economically Biden was better than Trump significantly. And he also managed to follow environmental rules. So even if Trump proves to be as incompetent as he was last time, as unable to get his agenda passed just because he is such an ephemeral, incompetent and lazy human being, even if we just go back to his first term, it's still gonna be bad. And the problem is that a lot of his cronies, a lot of the worst minds behind Project 2025 and his immigration plans and his Christian ethno-nationalist stuff, even if they have their stuff halfway together, and Project 2025 suggests that they do, then the U.S. is in for a very, very dark time, with a lot of people dying, a lot of people killing themselves, just because of how bad it's going to get. And I can't blame ignorant Swedish children for laughing about Trump winning because of they've been trained to spite. But by the time they start seeing the horror and in actuality, it will be too late for them to apologize. They won't know. They just don't know. It's like when they joke about people dying because they're gay, or when they joke about people dying, they don't understand what it's like to live in that world. The privilege of Sweden shields them from having to think about children starving. The privilege of Sweden shields them from not going to the doctor because you can't afford it. The privilege of Sweden makes it to where They don't know what it's like when police don't protect you because of what you look like. They don't know that. They can't know that. And so the kids, most of the people who are giving me shit about being worried about the election are so incredibly ignorant that I can't be angry at them reasonably. The ones that genuinely make me angry, though, are the adults who know about the people who are going to die, who know about the people who are going to be hurt, who are going to be oppressed, who are going to, be dragged out of their homes, who are going to, basically the Christian ethno-nationalists here in Sweden, who know about the people who are going to die, and they just don't care. They don't care because the only thing that matters to them is winning. And I blocked somebody from TikTok this morning because they were like, I'd rather be on the winning side, even if that means working with Nazis. I'd rather be Nazi than woke, was basically what they said. That's horrific. Being a Nazi is it used to be the worst thing you could be. But so many people use it from a bullshit standpoint. It just means a bad person now to a lot of people. They don't understand what fascism is. And I for a long time I was gonna do a video on what fascism is, breaking it down into pieces, and I filmed it even. But it's not gonna matter. Just like the fact that I voted didn't matter. I voted in Texas, my vote didn't count. The way things are set up there, with gerrymandering and with voter suppression and with how they do things in Texas, there are some people who will never face justice. Ken Paxton has been on the run from subpoenas for almost a decade now. He's never going to go to trial. Never, not once. He still holds a high position in Texas government, even though it has been proven all the crimes he's committed. Donald Trump's never going to spend a day in jail. There's no point in having justice if it's only for certain people. And again, this is not sour grapes. This is not, well, I'm just going to quit. I'm going to keep trying to do good. I'm going to keep trying to teach my kids right. I'm going to keep trying to let the students understand what it means when they say that people don't exist. I'm going to let my students know what it means when we pretend like genocide is fine. I'm going to let my students know what it means when they're like, oh, well, it's just gay people or whatever horrible group doesn't count anymore in the future. Because we've all been putting up with the genocide for over a year. The modern world, half the modern world won't even acknowledge that it's a genocide. It's going to be so much worse in a place as populous as the U.S. It's going to be so much worse. And now we have to sit here and wait for 3 months for it to get started, while all the Republicans rev their engines to show us all that they don't care about the environment and that they don't care who they hurt. And again, I'm not... A lot of people are like, cry more. I'm not crying yet. I will be once people start dying. I will be once people start, being oppressed to the point where they kill themselves. I will be when, children are forced to... I mean, it's the Pledge of Allegiance all over again. The reason that Americans are so ignorant is because we've made them that way. It's not that Americans are stupid. It's that they have been forced to learn this stuff. They have been forced to be these people. They have been forced by plan, by intention, by fake textbooks, by all this shit. And that's how it works. So, I'm not going to stop fighting. You shouldn't either. But at the same time, the system is rigged. The system has been rigged. There's not a lot we can do. Except keep fighting. Bye.